What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video on my beautiful M1000RR. But this is not a video about the bike. This video is about what I'm using right here, which is actually only a part of what I'm using, because right now we are using the DJI Osmo Nano, and this camera might be the best new thing for motovlogging. Whoa, that was rough and not a good way at all. Alright, so we need to take this on a faster ride today. Cool thing about this little Vision dock, just quickly show you guys, I can turn it on and I can see that my audio is connecting just like that. I can turn this thing back off, and this right now I'll put it in my pocket, and it kind of acts like a secondary battery, to be honest, because I can just connect it and I can recharge my teeny awesome camera. Woo! It's another scorching hot day in beautiful Las Vegas, over 100 degrees, because it is summer right now. And this is actually going to be the ultimate test for these little cameras and overheating, because honestly I'm overheating, so I don't know how these cameras don't overheat. Also, this is the first time I use the DJI wireless mic in my helmet. Obviously the setup is not perfected, so excuse me if the audio isn't perfect. I'm just messing with it and figuring out what's the best way. I'm still so impressed. I feel like I'm riding without a camera. That's so crazy to me. The DJI Osmo Nano, absolutely insane. Tiny camera, 52 grams, guys. You know how light that is? That's insane. That's insane. And the fact that you can get 4K, 60 frames per second, ultra wide, stabilized, literally just like a lot of new action cameras, is just insane. Like full-on big action cameras is insane. And this camera should be capable of recording up to 50 minutes, so almost an hour, almost a whole hour, 4K 60. Literally insane. With such a small package, to me this is sorcery, this is magic, and I don't understand how DJI pulled it off. This is why we're here, to put her on a real test. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me room. You know what? We're just gonna go this way. Get out of the strip, even though it's beautiful, and hit some freeways, so we can properly test this camera, the battery life, and see how she looks when we're zooming a little bit faster. Ooh, hope everyone's okay. We increased the tire pressure on this bike. She's been sitting for a while, so the tire pressure was very low. Let's see what this poor bike is running at. 187. She's actually running cool. That's not bad at all. Cool thing about this little camera is they can actually put ND filters on it. DJI makes ND filters for these things. So I'm currently using an ND filter to record on this camera. Not only that, but this camera is capable of filming in 10-bit D-Log. Small camera like that is capable of doing what cameras are triple its size capable of. You get the freedom of color grading, you get the freedom of capturing true full grade of just raw footage, so you can mess with it later on, capture the real beauty, and you can cinematically adjust it to whatever your preference is. If you guys want a full detail on my settings, my setup, and my videos, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe me and DJI will do another in-depth setup video for you guys. We gotta be smoother on these Vegas streets. It's very slippery out here. Usually I set my tire pressures to around like 32, 34. We kept her at 30s, around the 30 mark. A little bit lower tire pressure, more contact with the asphalt, the streets, so we get a little bit extra grip. I wanted to run it lower, but then if you're running like the high 20s or even mid 20s, then you lose a good amount of like kind of speed and agility. The bike feels heavier and more sluggish, so we kept her around the 30, and we'll mess with the tire pressure as we go on. Dude, I'm still like in shock that I'm recording. There's a camera on my helmet. For the longest time I told you guys that, you know, having, especially on a race helmet like the AGV Pista RR, having weight on the front is huge. So when I switched from GoPro to DJI, that's one of the main things that DJI did better, is that they had a much smaller, simpler setup. I didn't need like no mic adapter, no nothing, no media mod. It was just a camera and my lav mic, which is inside the helmet, but the only thing that's mounted to the front is literally just the camera. That's it. All you need for a mic adapter is like just a normal wire cable. No bulky setup. The cameras were lighter, they had better battery life, so it was a no-brainer. So we made the switch to DJI. And now DJI, since it's the leading when it comes to action cameras, they made something that competes with their own action cameras themselves. But the beautiful thing about the Osmo Nano is if you are a new creator, this is something that is extremely versatile. This is a camera that has magnetic mounts on the bottom and on the side. But not only that, but because of its insanely small size, you can actually mount this camera on most places. I know some people mount them on hats. Unfortunately, I look horrible with hats, so I'm personally not going to be doing that, but I know some of you guys that wear hats, you can literally mount this to your hat and it'll act like a motovlogging setup. I know a lot of people ride with, have hats with them, so when they take off their helmet and their hair is all crazy, they can just switch, wear a hat. Now you can literally clip this to your hat and it'll be literally like a setup like this, but you don't have to suffocate like me and wear that. You know what? I might start wearing hats now that I'm thinking about it. Just so when I go to meets and stuff like that, instead of wearing the helmet and walking around the helmet, I'll just put on a hat and I'll clip this to the top of the hat, and then I can literally get the same POV with better audio, because you guys always complain that you can't hear me, and that's because I'm usually connected to the audio of whatever I'm using. Now that I'm using the wireless mic, it's a much easier and simpler way to connect, and I can just take that wireless mic and put it on my chest, or I can even not use a mic because I can just capture audio straight from the camera. The possibilities are just simply endless, and I'm very excited to have this camera in my arsenal and to be messing around with it, getting new footages and angles with you guys. We recently did an event on the Extrenta, and we took her to a meet, and I actually brought this camera just to use as extra angles of footage. I'll show you guys a couple shots here. We mounted it actually on my leg. We used like a strap and we mounted it around my leg, and the camera was literally just right here because it doesn't take as much space. You don't even feel it. I kind of forgot about it. And you just mount it right there, and we're getting like a cool kind of like shot of my throttle hand, when I do revs and stuff like that. So again, very cool creative stuff. And then I moved it and I switched the camera around, and then it was facing me, and then you can get like just different cinematic shots. And that was just my first day of like messing around with it and using it. Tiny thing is still recording a 4K 60 in this about 110 degree weather is actually insane, because I myself am overheating, so I don't know how the camera's doing it, nor the bike, to be honest. These machines are better than us at this point. I'm definitely very curious about the audio, because obviously since we're using a proper wireless mic, I think the audio quality is going to be better and clearer than your good old-fashioned lav mic. To capture a little bit of some exhaust audio for the video. I know I told you guys that the camera shoots at 4K 60, but also it is capable of doing slow-mo at 4K 120 frames per second, and also it is using a sensor that is new but is similar to the DJI Osmo Action 5 sensor actually, and it's a 1/1.3 sensor, which is again very, very crazy for a camera this small. The beautiful thing about it is that, like I said, you can keep your dock with you, which is what I showed you guys in the start, and that also is going to give you even more battery life. It has its own battery, and as soon as you plug the two together, it'll recharge it. And it'll recharge it really quickly. Don't think you're going to be waiting. It'll go up from 0 to 80% in only 20 minutes. I just keep moving my head because there's absolutely zero resistance. How light and how small this camera is, it makes like the biggest difference. You guys don't even understand. We're gonna go get this bike some fresh fuel. Just realized that's another thing. The camera is so small that It doesn't even get in the way of me opening the visor anymore. The button sits above the camera. Usually they go all the way up here, and actually usually I can see the cameras in my vision. Now this is completely out of the way. It's literally like I'm recording without having anything on, because quite frankly, in comparison to everything before, I don't feel 50 grams on my setup. Car wash is very tempting. Just ride through it. Sweat is dripping into my eye and it's burning. Oh wow, she was pretty empty. Look at that, you guys. We have attached the Osmo Nano to its dock, and now it's charging up. And you know what? Because the Osmo Nano, that's actually crazy because I can actually film like this while recording because the mic is connected. That's something also really neat with the DJI wireless mic, because that's something usually we can't do. So look at that. That's actually awesome. But letting the bike cool down a little bit, we got some gas. One of the features that the Osmo Nano also has is that we can actually connect this camera directly to all the mounts that I have that are set up for my Osmo Action 5, 6, 4, all the Osmo Actions that I've been using, but also the Osmo 360. So again, that's the beautiful thing about DJI, is that they have an amazing ecosystem, including the wireless DJI mic that I am using right now. And by the way, you can connect up to 2. So if I want to do more of a old style, if you guys remember in the start of the channel, we kind of did a video style where we were doing a pure ride, you know, with the sound of the bike. We can actually mount the second DJI wireless mic somewhere on the bike. Okay, major durability test. The Nano also comes with its own case that is also very light and slim. And I feel like with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like and subscribe. Go get your DJI Osmo Nano. I think this camera is absolutely amazing. This is a super easy, quick, versatile camera that you can keep in your car, in your setup, or just even in your pocket, even if you don't want to use it as your main camera, because obviously the brand new DJI Osmo Action 6 is the flagship, and that is still the camera of my choice. But this is a very, very useful small camera that doesn't take as much space, size, even with the loading dock, and it gives you a lot of versatility, especially with the DJI ecosystem. So go click the link down in the description below, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, ride safe.